A lot of us have special interests. That's like the areas where we hyper focus. For some of us, it's one lifelong special interest. Like me, it's photography. For some of us, we bounce. Right now, one of my special interests is children's books, which is why I do the books for littles group. So I mean, finding something where you're hyper focused in, that is a superpower that allistic people will never have. Like they can't focus the way that we can focus. So that's obviously an area to go into. Um, the problem is, some of us are extroverted and some of us are introverted. I prefer jobs where there's a script. In my current job, there is no script, so I kind of have to make them up as I go along and mess things up, which is scary. If you're not um, kind of on the braver side, that can be really terrifying. When I was younger, I found it was much easier to deal with scripts. Waitressing, retail jobs, things where there's literally a piece of paper or a person telling you word for word what to say and how to interact with people, almost like a computer. Um, but it wasn't fun, and it was not a pleasant job that I went home less than exhausted in. So it's really hard to say because different people are going to have different strengths, just like any holistic person. Um, but I think the main thing that is helpful to do would be maybe talk to other autistic people and find out what works for them. One big problem with the way that our culture hires, especially with the interview process, is almost all interviews are in person. And unless you can pass as non autistic, you are not going to get hired. So that is a big problem that we have to fix. We have to make our interview system kind of double blind. You can't rely on someone looking you in the eye and not twitching because we twitch, we stim, we have a hard time looking people in the eye. And that doesn't mean we're worse at our job. It just means we're terrible at interviewing. Same thing, judicial system. Like if you can see the person on the stand and they're twitching and not looking you in the eye, they're going to think you're lying. When in truth, you could just be autistic. So we have a lot of problems in our culture where seeing someone's face is so important, and especially now that we're getting into the our internet culture, we're having an easier time being writers and bloggers and stuff where sending off those right body language signals is not necessarily as important and as vital. But yeah, it's hard for me to say because I don't, I wouldn't wish my job on someone else because it is remarkably difficult. But there are jobs that other autistic people have that I would not possibly be able to do.